So let us put the things in perspective. We were solving this problem and we were dealing with a multi-degree of freedom system. M1 and M2 are the masses of floor level 1 and roof level. U1 of T and U2 of T are the displacements of first floor level and roof level slab. Are you with me, Satya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we did cast the equation of motion for this. Then we represented those equations in terms of matrix form. I hope you all remember that. Then we saw that the stiffness matrix is non-diagonal and therefore the equations are coupled. In order to make the stiffness matrix diagonal, we had to do a trick. And what was the trick? We had to solve the eigenvalue problem, and we did find out the eigenvalues of which matrix? M inverse K. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So we did find out the eigenvalues of M inverse K matrix and eigenvectors of that matrix. We arranged the eigenvalues in ascending order, and then corresponding to the eigenvalues, we had eigenvectors. Just give me a second. We arrange the eigenvectors uh, in column wise fashion, one after the other. So for lowest eigenvalue, this is the eigenvector. Then for next eigenvalue, this is the another eigenvector. These two eigenvectors were arranged one besides the other to form a matrix called as transformation matrix phi. Are you with me, Satyam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once that phi matrix is formed, then we applied a substitution. U is equal to phi times z, where z1 and z2 are the generalized displacements corresponding to the displacements that we are interested in, and those are u1 and u2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So u1 and u2 are the displacements in the coordinate system where equations of motion are coupled, whereas z1 and z2 are the displacements which are called as generalized displacements in a coordinate system where the displacements are supposed to be where the equations of motion are supposed to be uncoupled. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then, so after this transformation, what was our claim? So let's have a look here. So this is the parent equation of motion, mu double dot plus ku equal to f. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I'm quick. We have done all this, but I'm quickly revising the things so that the picture is in perspective. Now, we have made a substitution. U is equal to phi times z. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What is phi matrix? Phi matrix is the matrix of eigenvectors of M inverse K. Happy?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then U dot is phi times Z dot, and U double dot is phi times Z double dot. Then this U double dot is replaced by phi times Z double dot. So we get the equation in generalized coordinate system as M phi Z double dot. This Z double dot matrix will consist of two terms, Z1 double dot and Z2 double dot. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then plus K times U, but U is phi times Z. So it is K times phi times Z equal to F, where F is a force matrix, nodal force matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we pre-multiplied all the left hand side and right hand side by phi transpose with the claim that phi transpose M phi and phi transpose K phi are diagonal matrices. And that's true that we have proven. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, after pre-multiplying by phi transpose, I get phi transpose M phi Z double dot plus phi transpose K phi Z equal to phi transpose F. And this phi transpose F matrix, we call it as generalized force matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Small f denotes the nodal force matrix and capital F denotes the generalized force matrix where small f has been pre-multiplied by phi transpose. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So uh, we already have phi matrix, we already have M matrix. So we calculated phi transpose M phi. That turned out to be this matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So you can see this matrix is diagonal matrix. Similarly, phi transpose K phi turned out to be a diagonal matrix. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, what is the next thing that we have to do? We have to find out generalized force matrix. So it is phi multiplied by 0, 0, because in our case the force matrix was a null matrix. Happy?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the even generalized force matrix turns out to be 0 in our case. So what is the equation of motion in generalized coordinate system? mz double dot plus kz equal to 0, 0, where this capital M and capital K are generalized mass and stiffness matrices respectively. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I'm going a bit fast because this we have done already in the last class.
Yes, sir.
Just putting the things in perspective. And now I also told you that we can calculate omega 1. That is the once we achieve this diagonalization of M and K matrices, once we achieve the diagonalization of M and K matrices, then we can expand the first row and second. Satyam, did you shift to earphones? Satyam,
Yes, sir.
did you शिफ्ट टू ईयरफोन्स और पहले ईयरफोन यूज कर रहे थे अभी वो निकाल दिया ऐसे कुछ किया है क्या?
No, sir. I just shifted to personal internet. Turned off the Wi-Fi.
Okay, because suddenly I started receiving echo. Now it's okay.
Okay.
So when we expand the first row, that expansion I have written here. When we expand the second row, that expansion I have written here. So it is as if two single degree of freedom systems. And then we found out omega 1 as square root of k1 by m1 corresponding to the first equation. And that turned out to be 22.52. And omega 2 is root k2 by m2 from second equation. That turned out to be 56.92. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then I proved that if you square this 22.5, if you square this 22.52, then that turns out to be somewhere close to 507, which is the first eigenvalue. If you square the second natural frequency, which is 56.92, its square turns out to be the second eigenvalue. So therefore eigenvalues of M inverse K matrix are nothing but square of the natural frequencies. ये हमने last time discuss किया था. यहाँ तक. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So देखो यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा है M inverse K matrix. There are M inverse K matrix square of natural frequencies of MDOF system. So eigenvalues of this matrix is nothing but square of natural frequencies. So if you have 3 by 3 M matrix and 3 by 3 K matrix, 3 eigenvalues, and then omega 1 square, omega 2 square, and omega 3 square are going to be the eigenvalues of M inverse K. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
यहाँ तक हमने किया था. Now let us try to solve this equation. So what is the first equation? First equation is first element of mass matrix m1 z1 double dot plus k1 z1 equal to 0, m2 z2 double dot plus k2 z2 equal to 0 is the second equation, where what are the values of m1 m2 k1 k2? तो वो values यहाँ पे है. This is M matrix. So these are the values of M1 and M2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down those values here. So we know what are the values of M1 and M2 in this equation. What are the values of K1 and K2? These are the values of generalized stiffness. These values we obtained from generalized stiffness matrix, which is diagonal in nature, K1 and K2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
These are the values. So let me put that also here. Okay. So how do we solve these? How do we solve these two equations now? So first of all, we have been given merely giving the differential equation is not enough. To solve a differential equation, we also need to know the boundary conditions. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So for first equation, what are the boundary conditions? For first equation, the boundary conditions are this: u1 of 0 is 10 mm. So what does that mean? तो मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में इस प्रॉब्लम में लिख के दिया था, देखो, we have displaced the first mass towards right by 10 mm. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Towards right. And we have displaced the second mass towards left by 10 mm from mean position.
Yes.
So वही कंडीशन मैं यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ. So what are the initial conditions that we have? U1 of 0 equal to U10 equal to 10 mm, 10 by 1000 meter, and U2 of 0 equal to U20 equal to minus 10 by 1000 meter. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we are going to use this equation U equal to 5 times Z. This is the transformation that we have applied. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
देखो, to solve equation number 1 and 2, I need to have boundary conditions in terms of Z1 and Z2. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Not in terms of U1 and U2. So somehow I need to translate boundary conditions in terms of U1 and U2 into boundary conditions in terms of Z1 and Z2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And how am I going to do that? I am going to do that through a transformation matrix phi. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
So U is equal to 5 times Z. This is the equation that we are using. Happy?
Yes, sir.
What is the value of phi? That phi has already been evaluated, 0.6381 minus 1.3111. So U1 and U2 is equal to this phi matrix into Z1 and Z2 at all times. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
देखो, U1 is a function of time. U2 is also a function of time. Similarly, Z1 is also a function of time and Z2 is also a function of time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, when I write down this equation is not valid only at a given instant of time. It is valid throughout the period of observation. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So the equation that I have written, though you see it is a relationship between U1, U2 and Z1, Z2, you have to understand U1 and U2 are functions of time. They evolve in time. Similarly, Z1 and Z2 are functions of time. They evolve in time. So it is, this equation is valid at all instances of time during the period of observation. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me select time instant t equal to 0. If I select time instant t equal to 0, is this equation still valid? Yes, it is valid. So I have to say u1 of 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
When t equal to 0, it is u1 of 0 and u2 of 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And that is going to be related with z1 of 0 and z2 of 0. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
But how do we denote u1 of 0? Our notation for u1 of 0 is u10. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Our notation for u2 of 0 is u20. Similarly, our notation for z1 of 0 is z10, and our notation for z2 of 0 is z20. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to write down this equation at time instant t equal to 0. So if I do that, I have u10, u20 is equal to this phi matrix multiplied by z10, z20. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Excellent. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so fortunately internet is not dependent on the electricity. So u10, u20 is equal to 5 times z10 and z20. Now when I write this equation, it is written at a given instant of time. So therefore u10, u20, z10 and z20 now are not functions of time. When I write it in particular form, it is at time t equal to 0. Do you know the value of U10? The answer is yes. If you look at the problem, we started with the instant t equal to 0 when mass m1 was pulled towards right by 10 mm. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So U10 is 10 by 1000, whereas U20 is minus 10 by 1000. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I have written here. U10 is 10 by 1000, U20 is minus 10 by 1000. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Then you have this phi matrix as it is here, and Z10 and Z20. So now to write down the initial condition, I need to write it in terms of Z10 and Z20. That can now be easily done by inverting this phi matrix and multiplying by U10 and U20. So Z10 and Z20 is pi inverse into 10 by 1000 and minus 10 by 1000. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to calculate this. So let us do that. आपके calculator पे you are equipped with the tools for doing that. But here I will do it on online tool. So give me a second.
Okay, sir.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So first thing that we will do is we will find out the inverse of pi matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Calculation. So let us do that calculation online. So do me a favor, take a snapshot of this phi matrix. Let me know once you are done with this snapshot. 0.6381 minus 1.3111.
Yes, sir. I'm done with it.
Yes. Okay. Now let us invert this matrix. So this is this matrix is 2 by 2 matrix. So matrix dimensions 2. First element is 0.638. Second
Yes,
element
sir.
is minus 1.311.
1.
सही है? Yes.
Yes, sir. And rest two are 1 and 1.
1 and 1. So let us invert that matrix. Calculate. So I got the inversion 0.5131. So let me maintain 4 digits. So let me write phi inverse is equal to 0.5131, then 0.6727,
2.
0.6727. Then third one is minus 0.5131, minus 0.5131, and then 0.3273, 0.3273. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Please take a snapshot of this phi inverse matrix.
Yes, sir. Done.
Done. We have to multiply it by the matrix 10 by 1000 and minus 10 by 1000. So we need to now do the multiplication. So where is the multiplication? Matrix multiplication. The first matrix is 2 cross 2. Second matrix is 2 cross 1.
Yes, sir.
Set matrix. So what is the first matrix? वो phi inverse matrix बताओ क्या है?
0.5131.
5131. Then
0.6727
6727. Then
minus 0.5131.
and then
0.3273.
0.32.
3273.
Okay. And then what is the U matrix? So that is plus 10 by 1000. Are you with me?
And yes, sir.
And
Minus
minus
10 by
10 by 1000. So let us do that. Calculate. You have inputted invalid data in matrix A. Check again. What is invalid? 5131.
If it is not it's saying
Fill empty cells with 0, but there are no zeros. What's the problem? 0.5131, or doesn't take? Just give me a second. अरे ये क्या है?
Select the option insert matrix.
No. No, it's true. Okay, we will do it in another tool.
Okay, sir.
Matrix multiplication. It is the same one. Let us try it once again. Matrix A into matrix B. Matrix A dimensions are phi inverse 2 cross 2. This is 2 cross 1. Set matrix. Yeah. Tell me, matrix. Point
5.
5131. Then 0.727. Then
minus
point
0.5131,
and then
0.3277.
and this matrix is 10 by 1000. 10 by 1000 is 0.010. Is that right? Yes. Minus, and then this matrix is minus 010. Calculate. Now it has given. सही दिए थे ना वैल्यू हमने. 10 by 1000 is 0.010. Correct. So let me write down those values. So I get Z10 is equal to minus 0.001 as 0.001596. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And Z20 is equal to minus 0.008404. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So these are the values. So we have got okay. So let's go ahead. So look at the first equation. M1 Z1 double dot plus K1 Z1 equal to 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So how many boundary conditions do you require to solve this equation? We will require two boundary conditions. Out of that, one boundary condition we have obtained. Z1 of 0 equal to something. But what about the second boundary condition? So second boundary condition will be in terms of first time derivative of Z1. So that is in terms of Z1 dot. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, just look at the original problem. Here, though both the masses were displaced from their mean position, they were not carrying any velocity at time instant t equal to 0. Do you agree with me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the second boundary condition in terms of u1 and u2 is this. u1 of 0 is 0 and u2 of u1 dot of 0 is 0 and u2 dot of 0 is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now we need to translate these boundary conditions in terms of z1 dot of 0 and z2 dot of 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the relationship u1 dot and u2 dot is related to z1 dot and z2 dot through a transformation matrix phi. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now you have to understand that u1 dot is a function of time. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
u2 dot is a function of time.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, z1 dot and z2 dot are functions of time. So when I write this equation, it is not written at a single time interval. It is written for over the observation period. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, though it seems like you are relating u1 dot and z1 dot, u2 dot and z2 dot, in fact, you are relating functions to functions. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I will make this, if I consider time t equal to 0, what is the value of u1 dot at time t equal to 0? So that is u1 dot of 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then value of u2 dot at time t equal to 0 is u2 dot of 0, and it is related to z1 dot of 0 and z2 dot of 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
By notation, what do we call u1 dot of 0? This is called as 1 0 dot. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Then this is called as u2 0 dot. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this is related to z1 0 dot and z2 0 dot. Happy?
Yes, sir.
That's what now I'm going to write here. So just have a look here. u1 0 dot and u2 0 dot equal to phi times z1 0 dot and z2 0 dot. Happy?
Yes, sir.
But u1 0 dot and u2 0 dot are 0 because the system did start from rest. Do you agree with me?
Right, sir.
System start from rest इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि u1 of t, u1 of 0 and u2 of 0 are 0. No. u1 of 0 and u2 of 0 can be non-zero, but u1 dot of 0 and u2 dot of 0 are 0. That is the meaning of system starts from the rest. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So therefore now let me substitute that 0 0 equal to phi times z1 dot z2 0 dot. Now, so what is z1 0 dot and z2 0 dot? It is phi inverse of 0 into 0. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
What is the dimension of phi matrix? 2 cross 2.
Yes, sir.
So phi inverse की भी dimension 2 cross 2 रहने वाली है.
Yes, sir.
अब इसमें कौन से भी एलिमेंट हो, as I am multiplying it by 0, you are going to get z1 dot, z1 0 dot and z2 0 dot as 0 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So have we got the required boundary conditions? Yes. To solve first equation, we have two boundary conditions, z1 0 and z1 0 dot. To solve the second equation, we have two boundary conditions, that is z2 0 and z2 0 dot. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Do we have the solution for this equation? Yes, we have the solution. कैसे किस तरीके का solution है? Let me write down the solution now. My writing is not very systematic in the way I have not written it in a sequential manner, but you try to understand the process, then you will be able to write it on your own. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me now write down the solutions. So let me write down the solution of this equation. ये दो इक्वेशन लेता हूँ, उनका सॉल्यूशन लिखूंगा. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो, what is the solution of this equation? First equation. So let us try to solve only first equation first. We have already solved such kind of equation. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
क्या क्या solution है इसका बताओ? If there would have been damping, तो इसका solution क्या रहता बताओ? If अगर damping रहता, तो इसका solution क्या रहता? Z1 of t, देखो, Z1 of t is equal to it is not z1 into t. You have to understand it is z1 as a function of time. Don't search. Z1 as a function of time is equal to e raised to minus eta omega t. Do you agree with me? Then you
Yes,
have
sir.
C1 cos omega dt है ना प्लस C2 sin omega dt. ये solution है कि नहीं इसका? Do you agree with me? Right hand side is 0. So this is the solution to this pre-vibration. However, you have to understand eta equal to 0 here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Eta 0 है क्यों? Because this is undamped system. Happy?
Yes, sir.
The moment eta equal to 0, omega d, which is equal to omega into square root of 1 minus eta square, this becomes equal to omega. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, omega d is omega, eta is 0, and omega is equal to root k by n. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
For first equation, k is equal to k1 and m is equal to a1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So it is k1 upon m1. Do we have the values of k1 and m1? Yes, we have. Because this is k1 and this is m1. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Let me take these values there. So this is k1. अच्छा पूरी वैल्यू नहीं ली क्या? So this is k1. This divided by this divided by m1. M1 is 3419.37. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what is this ratio and its square root? Can you tell me the value of omega? Do it. Chalo. 735,333.8. 1 square root of 17 कितना है 35333.8 1735333.8 divided by 3419.37 3419.37 Chal 7.16. Let me know if it is correct. 7.161. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Acha, I lost the track. Who is speaking?
Satyam, sir.
हाँ सत्य. So have you calculated?
Yes, sir.
मैंने लिखा है इसलिए हाँ मत बोलो. You have to calculate. So it is 7.161 unit. It is going to be radian per second. We know, but as it is a generalized coordinate system, I'm not bothered right now about the unit. Let us talk about the unit later when once we go back to our original coordinate system. So now let me write down z1 of t. Z1 of t. T is the argument. It is not z1 into t. Z1 of t is equal to e raised to minus eta omega t. But eta being 0, this term is going to vanish to 1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
E raised to 0 is 1. Anything raised to 0 is 1 except 0 raised to 0. Now, C1 cos of omega dt, but omega is this one. It is going to be 7.161. Happy? Times
Yes, sir.
plus C2 times sin. बोलो क्या होगा 7.161 times t. Happy? Are you?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, now how will you get C1 and C2? You have to use two boundary conditions. So do we have Z1 0? Z1 0 is equal to Z1 of 0 is equal to, have we found out that? Just now we did.
Yes.
What is the value of Z10? Bolo. This one.
Point.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to substitute that value here. See, you may find that there is a lot of calculations involved even in 2 degree of freedom system, but you have to understand that afterwards you are going to upload this job to the dumb computer. You are going to program it. Are you with me? So
Yes,
it
sir.
doesn't matter whether it is 2 degree of freedom system or million degree of freedom system. This everything is that program is going to do for you. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
So therefore Z10 is Z1 of 0 equal to minus 0.001596. Happy?
Yes, sir.
What is the second boundary condition? Z10 dot, which is nothing but Z1 of 0. है ना? And this value is 0. देखो हमने यहाँ पे calculate किया. This value is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे calculate की थी. Z10 dot is 0. So this is 0. So now how are we going to use these two boundary conditions? So first boundary conditions, I will put t equal to 0 here. So what is Z1 of 0? Z1 of 0 has to be equal to minus 0.001596 has to be equal to, if I substitute t equal to 0 here, this becomes cos of 0, that is cos of 1, that is 1. So therefore C1 remains, and C2, this term is going to vanish. Sine of 0 is 0. Do you agree?
0. Yes, sir.
Therefore you got the value of C1. So C1 equal to minus 0.001596. At most care must be taken that you are substituting units of each and every quantities in predefined way. एक ही system में करना है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
चल अब आगे चलते हैं. What about the second boundary condition? Can I differentiate this Z1 of t? The Z1 dot of t. Tell me, how much is that? It is going to be 7.161 C1 sin 7.161 t minus, क्योंकि cos का डेरिवेटिव माइनस साइन रहेगा, माइनस
Yes.
7.161 sin of 7.161
T.
happy
Yes, sir.
plus
Plus
derivative
7.
of this is going to be cos. So therefore 7.161 cos of 7.16
61.
t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
This is Z1 dot of t. So now what is Z1 dot of 0?
0.
This must be equal to 0, but this must be equal to, substitute t equal to 0 here. So first term is going to vanish, second term is going to prevail, and that is going to be equal to
161.
अरे कुछ बाकी रहेगा. C1.
C1 or
Here we have C1, here we have C2. So when I substitute this as 0, what do I get? 7.16.
161 C2.
That gives me C2 is equal to 0.
0.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
So what is the solution of first equation? Z1 of t. Tell me. Z1 of t is going to be equal to C1. C1 की value क्या है? Minus. So minus 0.001596 times
Cos of
cos of 7.16
161.
t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Plus C2 times,
0.
but C2 is 0, so we don't bother about it. Now you have to understand that the system will keep on oscillating forever because cos function will fluctuate between -1 and +1 forever. That's true because we have not considered damping in the system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore the system will keep on vibrating forever if you believe mathematics, but this is because incorrect modeling we have not taken into account damping. That's why we get such weird result. That's okay. Now let us look at Z2 of t. We are going to solve this equation. Second, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So how do I solve this equation? So what is the solution? Solution remains similar in nature. Z2 of t is equal to e raised to minus eta omega t. But mind you, omega is different here. Omega is root k2 by m2, not root k1 by m. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So e raised to minus eta omega t into c1. These constants are different. Cos omega dt plus C2 sin omega dt. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, eta equal to 0, therefore all the implications they are in force. So we have this equal to C1 cos omega t. Are you with me? Plus
Yes, sir.
C2 sin omega t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this, uh, omega we will calculate little later. Let us first apply boundary conditions. Z2 of 0 is how much? Is Z2 0? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And how much is Z2 0? So let us look at this Z2 0. Where is Z2 0? This one minus 0.00840. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down that here. And what is Z2 and what this must be equal to? This must be equal to sin omega t term is going to vanish because we are going to substitute t equal to 0, sin equals 0. So C1. So we got the value of C1 as this one. Happy? And on similar lines, you will see that C2 is going to vanish. C2 is going to be 0. जैसे पहले हमने किया था, है ना?
Yes, sir.
So when you do Z2 double dot, ये टर्म हो जाएगा sin omega t, ये टर्म हो जाएगा cos omega t. तो cos omega t वाला टर्म हो जाएगा 1, ये C2 रह जाएगा. लेकिन on the left hand side you have Z2 0 dot as 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Since Z2 0 dot is 0. Happy?
Right, sir.
So what is the solution? Z2. Z2 of t. बोलो क्या है solution? Minus 0.0004
840.
cos omega t. This solution is this solution. अच्छा, ये दोनों वैल्यूज हमारे नेगेटिव आए वो सही है ना? I hope we have not made any mistake here. We substituted this negative sign, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Fine. So this is Z2. So we have found out the responses. So let us write down those responses in matrix form. So I'm going to write it as Z1 of t and Z2 of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is equal to. कैसे लिखूं बोलो? तो Z2 of t is this one. It is a function of time. And Z1 of t is this one. This is also a function of time.
Yes, sir.
Happy? Are you happy? Have we solved the problem? Answer is no, because I don't recognize generalized coordinate system. How do I interpret the answers in generalized coordinate system? This is some hypothetical coordinate system in which decoupling of equations of motions has been achieved. But I want answers in original coordinate system, u1 of t and u2 of t. Do you agree with me? Then only they are
Yes.
interpretable. So what do I do? So I am going to use the transformation that I have proposed. What is the transformation जिससे मैंने start किया था? क्या transformation है? U is equal to 5 times Z. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So you have to understand this U is a function of time, and it incorporates two terms, U1, U2 is equal to 5 times Z1 and Z2. This is also a function of Z1 and Z2 are also functions of time. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Knowing phi matrix, knowing Z1 and Z2, won't you get U as a function of time? So देखो U को मैं long hand में लिखता हूँ. This is U1 of t and U2 of t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
इज इक्वल टू, अब जरा देखो या इस मैट्रिक्स में आई एम इंटेंशनली राइटिंग दिस टर्म्स एज phi 1 1 phi first row second column, phi second row first column, phi second row second column. Are you with me? Multiplied by z1 of t and z2 of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now expand the first row. What do you get? u1 of t is equal to what? Bolo. Phi
1 1.
1 1 into z1 of t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus phi 1 2 into z2 of t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And u2
Of
of t.
u2 of
चलो u2 of t क्या है बोलो मुझे? Phi
phi 2
2 1 of
z1 of
z1 of t plus
phi 2 z t.
1 2 of z2 of t. Phi 2 2. I'm sorry. Phi 2 2 into z2 of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So you have to understand that u1 of t is consequence of z1 of t as well as z2 of t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And z1 of t is being multiplied by phi 1 1. z2 of t is being multiplied by phi 2 1 2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
अब एक कंसेप्ट और हम सीखेंगे जिसको बोला जाता है मोड शेप्स. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the first eigenvector, this is the first eigenvector. Do you agree with me? जो हमारा
Yes,
M
sir.
inverse K मैट्रिक्स है, the matrix is M inverse K. इस मैट्रिक्स के लोएस्ट आइगेन वैल्यू के करस्पॉन्डिंग जो आइगेन वेक्टर है, that is this phi 1 1 and phi 2 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So if lambda 1 is the first eigenvalue of M inverse K, smallest eigenvalue of M inverse K, उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग जो आइगेन वेक्टर है उसके ये दो एलिमेंट्स हैं. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Then if you look at the second column, this is the eigenvector corresponding to the second eigenvalue.
Yes, sir.
तो ये जो दो phi 1 1 and phi 2 1, they describe the first mode shape. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
First mode shape. And phi 1 2 and phi 2 2, it describes the second mode shape. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
पहले correlation बताता हूँ, then we will understand its physical meaning. First mode shape corresponds to first eigenvalue. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
वो यहाँ पे correlation लिखता हूँ. First mode shape corresponds to first eigenvalue or first which is lowest. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Manage eigenvalues from lowest to highest. ये पहला काम करना है. उसके बाद उसके corresponding eigenvectors को एक के आगे एक रखना है to get phi matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So first mode shape corresponds to first or lowest eigenvalue. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Of M inverse K matrix. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
But we just proved that eigenvalue of M inverse K matrix is nothing but the square of natural frequencies.
Right, sir.
मतलब M inverse K के अगर तीन आइगेन वैल्यूज है, then तो वो तीन वैल्यूज आर नथिंग बट स्क्वायर ऑफ देयर first three natural frequencies, omega 1 square, omega 2 square and omega 3 square. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore we call omega 1 as first mode frequency. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
First mode frequency is omega 1. Second mode frequency is omega 2.
Oh,
And third mode frequency is omega 3. Corresponding to the first mode frequency, जो आइगन वेक्टर है उसको हम बोलेंगे फर्स्ट मोड शेप. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So first or lowest eigenvalue is nothing but square of first mode
Frequencies.
natural frequency. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Natural. अब यही लॉजिक आपको एक्सटेंड करते जाना है. सेकंड मोड शेप is corresponds to the second eigenvalue. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And it corresponds to the second eigenvector. That second eigenvector is nothing but second mode shape. And the second eigenvalue of M inverse K matrix is nothing but the square of second natural frequency. Second mode natural frequency. Correlation समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Now what exactly are these mode shapes? वो हम देखने वाले. By the way, हमने problem अभी solve कर दिया है. You have the value of phi 11, phi 12, phi 21, phi 22. You just substitute them. You will get u1 as a function of t and u2 as a function of t. So you have solved the problem. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
We are going to plot it on Excel for sure. But उससे पहले I am trying to make you understand the various concepts involved. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो अब आगे चलते हैं. What is first mode shape and second mode shape? So let me bring phi matrix here once again in terms of numbers. So where is phi? This is phi matrix, right? Oh, no, this is not phi. The phi matrix. This is phi matrix. You agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me bring that here. अब इससे मैं आपको समझाने वाला हूँ व्हाट इज फर्स्ट मोड शेप. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
चलो फर्स्ट मोड शेप. का मतलब क्या है? तो अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. आई एम गोइंग टू नाउ शो द स्ट्रक्चर एज 2 डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टम. तो ये रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिखाने में. Mass m1 is lumped at height h. Mass m2 is lumped at height 2h from the ground. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
तो पहले वो रिप्रेजेंटेशन यहाँ पे दिखा था. This is m1. Happy? And this is m2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
We are going to look at a given instant of time u2 of t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And u1 of t. Not necessary that u1 of t and u2 of t at a given instant of time will be always towards right. No. One may be towards right, another may be towards left, both may be towards left, vice versa. कुछ भी combination इसमें से हो सकता है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
u1. अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. Wherever there is m1, I am considering the first mode shape. So I am going to consider the first column of phi matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
उसमें what is the first element? 0.638. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. This was the mean position of m1. This was the mean position of m2. From this, I will move m1 towards right by amount 0.638 units. Are you with me?
Right, sir.
That can be meter, kilometer, megameter, nanometer, whatever it is. I'm just saying units. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So I have moved this mass towards right by how many units? 0.638 units. And I will move the second mass by 1 unit. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is 1 unit. This is 0.638 units. So once I say that, any multiples in this proportion will do. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
मैंने यूनिट स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया. Whether it is kilometer, nanometer, megameter, कुछ नहीं. So any multiples of this, as long as this ratio is maintained, 1 and 6.638 is okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
If the structure has to deform in this fashion, how does a deformed shape look like? Will it look something like this? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is called as first mode shape. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
This we call it as first mode shape. Now, what is the definition of mode shape? So, definition of mode shape is that shape such that all the points on the body they do vibrate with the same frequency. So ऐसे सारे possible combinations of deformations where all points on the body do vibrate with the same frequency. इनको बोला जाता है mode shape. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So how many points are there on this body? Only two, because we are bothered only about u1 of t and u2 of t. So ये दो point अगर आप consider करोगे तो in first mode shape they will vibrate about the mean position with the same frequency which is equal to the first mode frequency. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, can I plot the second mode shape? चलो second mode shape plot करूँ. कैसे plot होगा? So let me plot it in red. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You will understand what does this mode shape mean physically in a while, but let us plot the second mode shape first. So second mode shape कैसे plot करेंगे? So you have to consider this one. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So minus 1.311 means the first mass is going to go towards left by 1.311 units. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
The moment I show it towards left, don't assign the negative sign. It's understood. Are you with me? And by
Right,
the
sir.
way, the negative sign here also does not mean that it is towards left. Negative and positive sign here means that both the masses are deforming on opposite sides of mean position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So when I say this is 1 unit, that means it is somewhere here. This is 1 unit. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So how does the second mode shape look like? All multiples of these are okay. Positive, negative, all multiples. I can multiply this 1 and 1.311 by k. That k can be positive number or negative number. It's okay. All those combinations, they lead to the only second mode shape. Are you with me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So how does that deformed shape look like? It is going to look something like this. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is second mode shape. Now, why it is so important to define the mode shapes? It will be clear if you just look at the expressions of u1 of t and u2 of t. जरा देखो u1 of t में z1 of t को जो प्री मल्टीप्लाइंग फैक्टर है, that is which factor? 511. 511 is 6.638. 0.638 will be seen something like this here. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, these factors 511, 512 are called as modal combination factors or modal participation factors. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
देखो, U1 of T is governed by first as well as second mode shape. 511 is the term in first mode shape. 512 is the term in second mode shape. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So 511 and 512 दोनों से U1 of T is governed. It is governed by both. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So at any given instant of time, U1 of T derives its contribution from both the mode shapes. Are you with me?
Right, sir.
So 511 into Z1 of T plus 512 into Z2 of T is U1 of T. Similarly, U2 of T derives its contribution from both modes. 521 is the contribution of first mode and 522 is the contribution of second mode. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So यहाँ तक हम आए. Now what we are going to do is we are going to substitute the values of 511, 512 and we are going to write down the expression for U1 of. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So chalo, U1 of T is equal. What is 511? 0.638. So I will write it as 0.638 multiplied by क्या लिखूं? Z1 of t. But what is Z1 of t? Z1 of t is this. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So that I am going to write down here. One minute. नहीं तो यहाँ पे गड़बड़ हो गई. So this has to be Z1 of t. That is this one. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
1 minute. This is written here. Fine. And in second case, we did not calculate the value of omega. So that we need to calculate. That omega is equal to square root of K2 upon M2. So what is K2? So let me see that. Where is K2? K2 is this one.
2, 2, 6.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down that. This is K2. This divided by M2. Where is M2? Can you do this calculation? Just do 227,667,00.5 divided by 7026.48 और उसका square root and tell me the value of omega. 227,667,00.5 divided by 7026.4. How much? $56 point. Square root लिया. And then what was the first one?
7.16.
उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ की क्या?
It will be more or less.
22 पॉइंट समथिंग होना चाहिए वो हमारा हमने किया था ना ये फ्रीक्वेंसी पहले कैलकुलेट. नहीं we did calculate it earlier, right? 1 minute. यहाँ पे किया था ना हमने कैलकुलेट. Once just cross verify, it should be 22.52. हाँ omega 1 वो हमने 7.6 जो लिया ना, that's incorrect. So check this 17. चलो करो calculation. 173533. Satyam, you said yes, you are correct without checking. 1735333.8 divided by 3419.37 and square root of that. Square root of that. One seven three five 173.333.8 divided by 3419.37. 0.37. Then take a square root of. Take a square root of
2.25.
22.25. 22.5. Shreyas says correct. Which one correct, Shreyas? 22.5. ठीक. तो इसका मतलब है हमारा जो पहला कैलकुलेशन था वो 7.6 जो लिखा ना हमने उसको रिप्लेस करना पड़ेगा.
Yes.
हाँ, so this is not 7. This is हाँ, so यहाँ पे कुछ तो गड़बड़ किया हमने. हाँ, so this is how much? Tell me. 22.52, right? 22.52. So therefore ये 7.161 will be replaced by 22.52 times t. This is also 22.52 times t. So replace everywhere 22.52. This is also 22.52. So at end this is 22.52. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So then this also becomes 22.5. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Second case, this frequency turns out to be 56.92. So this is going to be cos of 56.92 times t. चलो क्या हो रहा है वेदा? So this is how Z1 of t and Z2 of t look like. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down U1 of. So what is U1 of t? 0.638 into Z1 of t. What is Z1 of t? Z1 of t is this. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let me write it. Z1. और क्या है वो? U1 of t is this. What is U2 of t? Sorry, U1 of t is 0.638 into Z1 of t minus 1.31. देखो 512. So 512 is nothing but minus 1.31, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus 1.311 times बोलो Z2 of t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Z2 of t is this. I'm going to substitute that. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And what is U2 of t? U2 of t is U is equal to 5z. यही substitution हमने किया है ना? Yes. So in that case, it is going to be equal to this is 1 1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So 1 into Z1 of t plus 1 into Z2 of t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So 1 into Z1 of t is this quantity itself. Plus 1 into Z2 of t, that is this quantity itself. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now let us take, I hope हमने कहीं mistake नहीं की है. Our substitution is U equal to 5z, right? U equal to 5z, yes. 5z double dot, that is correct. Yes, so this is done. अब एक काम करते हैं. Now we are going to plot this. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो. So focus एक बार फिर से clear करता हूँ. What was our problem? Problem was this. This is M1, mass M1. This is mass M2. Happy? what were the masses? तो वो masses भी हमने calculate करके लिए है यहाँ पे. What are the values of M1 and M2? I don't remember that now, but we have taken those values. 2730 and 2300. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So M1 is equal to 2750 kg and M2 is equal to 2300 kg. Happy? Are you
Yes,
with me?
Yes, sir.
M1, M2 के values है. Then we have displaced M2. Sorry, we have displaced M1 by plus 10 mm, plus 10 by 1000 meter. Do you agree? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So at time t equal to 0, we have pulled the mass M1 towards right from mean position by amount 10 by 1000 meter, and we have pulled this mass M2 towards left by 10 by 1000 meter. Happy?
Right, sir.
And then we are looking at what is U1 of t. Happy? And what is U2 of t. For that U1 of t and U2 of t, this is the expressions. These are the expressions. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let us plot those expressions. Just give me a second. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
So this is 2 degree of freedom system. 2 degree of freedom system. The example that we have taken. So let me put the expressions here. T, we will observe the system over the period of 10 seconds or 20 seconds in the multiples of 0.001 second. We will observe the system for 10 seconds. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is 10 seconds. This time t in seconds. We are going to plot u1 of t first. Then we are going to plot u2 of t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let me plot u1 of. How do I plot u1? What are the equations? 0.638. This is equal to 0.638. Are you able to read the formula?
Yes, sir.
0.638 into bracket minus 0. Minus 0.001596 cos of multiplied by cos of क्या cos of क्या है 22.52 times t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Then in that we have to add minus 1.311 times bracket बोलो क्या है minus 0.00840 minus 0.00840 multiplied by cos of 56.92 into t. T is nothing but a1, a2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us find out this. Okay. Hopefully this is correct. This bracket gets complete here. It is correct. This bracket gets complete here. Yes. That's right. So this has been calculated. Now let us write down the expression in the second bracket. So वो कैसे करेंगे? Same expression needs to be taken. Only the thing is so instead of 0.638, I have 1, and instead of minus 1.311, I have plus 1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So that equation remains this. Very good. So देखो, at time instant t equal to 0, u1 of t is 0.01. So that is 10 mm towards right. And u2 of t is minus 0.0. That is 10 mm towards left from mean position. Are you with me?
Right, sir.
So let us plot this now. So this versus this. So 10 second is bit too much. We will plot it for lesser so that we get good resolution. So let me plot it. Select data. This edit. Instead of plotting it for 10,042, I will plot it only for 500 or 1000. Or let us plot it for 10,000. No, let us plot it for 5,000. Okay, so up to 5 seconds, I have plotted the response. Are you able to see the response?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out what is the difference in this response compared to single degree of freedom system? सिंगल डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टम को अगर हमने 10 mm से टुवर्ड्स राइट खींचा होता और छोड़ दिया होता, how does it oscillate? What is the difference? So in that case you would have equal amplitudes on both sides. Do you agree with me? So if you look
Yes.
at that response which we have plotted in the same Excel, SDF system का किया है ना हमने? Let me check. Okay, have we not plotted the response for undamped system? किया था ना प्लॉट हमने? हाँ. So look at the response. Do you see that everywhere the magnitude is same in undamped free vibration? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So you series 2 corresponds to we have pulled the system by greater amount, and in blue line that is the system where we have pulled the system by lesser amount. But essentially what we saw was the highest peak reached by the system was more or less constant. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Do you observe that here? In 2 degree of freedom system? No, right?
No, sir.
So now we are going to look at something called as frequency modulation. So you must have heard the term frequency modulation. One frequency is sitting over the other frequency. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So here there are two frequencies, omega 1 and omega 2. That frequency modulation causes such kind of response. So therefore, even a free vibration response of 2 degree of freedom system is slightly different than the free vibration response of single degree of freedom system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This was U1 of t. Now let us plot U2 of t. Happy? And again I will plot it only up to 5 seconds. 5,000. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now why does Friends, is there any physical explanation why such variation occurs from SDF system to MDF system? The reason is very simple. Mass M1 is going to have its effect on mass M2, and mass M2 is going to have its effect on mass M1 because both these masses are connected by the columns. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So therefore, we see such kind of response. So now, uh, before we move ahead, I want one more plot to be drawn, and that plot is visualization of U1 and U2 together. That means at a given instant of time, I should be able to see the display shape. So can we do that? So let us try to look at some online tools if they are available. So plot plus 1, 2. I don't know if it is available. Let me see. Otherwise, we can always program it. I don't think we will have to see that, but we can always program that. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I mean will be clear if we consider a particular instant of time. So let us do that exercise. Let me consider time instant 008. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
U1 in this case. U1 is at 0.008893. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And U2 is minus 0.000912. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let me try to plot that. How does the display shape look like? This is M1. This is M2. See? And we are looking at time instant t equal to 0.008 seconds. Happy? At this time
Yes, sir.
instant, where is M1? M1 is at location plus 0.0088. So therefore M1 is somewhere here. This is 0.0088. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And where is M2? M2 now is on the left hand side of main position, and that is at minus 0.00912, which is very close to 0.0088. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is 0.00912. So how does the deformed shape look like at time instant t equal to 8 seconds? The deformed shape is going to look something like this. Are you with me? This is how the
Yes,
deformed
sir.
shape. Now let us consider another instant. So let me consider another instant. Let me consider instant this one 0.32, 0.032. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Equal to 0.032 second. Where is M1? It is towards left by amount minus 0.0035. Right? So this is 0.0035. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And where is M2? It is at plus 0.000885. So this is 10 folds lesser magnitude than 0.0035. So therefore, we are going to show it very close here. Are you with me? This is 0.000. Okay? 885. 885. Happy? नहीं चार्जिंग तो है अभी. Okay, I will have to put. Dixit. Okay. So how does the deformed shape look like? Chalo bolo. The deformed shape now is going. It is going to look something like this. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, you have to understand that at various instances of time, you are going to have different deformed shapes, and that entire visualization is possible if we just program it. Are you with me? So you can see the evaluation of deformed shapes as time evolves. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So now, before going to the next discussion, we are going to start the next discussion today itself. But before going to that, let us form a Google Classroom and let me give you a few assignments. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
So now I am going to stop recording. I will resume it once we start our discussion.
Yes, sir.